Okay, my love, so before we start today's video, I did really quickly just want to shout out today's video sponsor, which is Dossier, of course. Dossier is a luxury fragrance company that offers cheaper alternative duplicates to your already favorite luxury fragrances like Versace, Tom Ford, Chanel, Viktor and Rolf. Dossier offers duplicates that are way cheaper to all of those for only $29 to $39, almost $40, rather than your typical like $100, $200, almost $300. They are full-size bottles, long-lasting. I sometimes even wash my clothes and I still smell the scent through them. So I love Dossier so much. I've been using them for over 2 years. And what I love about them too is that if you do get a scent and you don't like it, you can return it and get 100% of your refund back. They also come with small travel bottles. That way you can actually try the scent out yourself first. Just see if you like it or not. So many options on Dossier that I'm sure you can find something that you absolutely love. Some of my personal favorites are Fruity Neroli and Fruity Magnolia. That's my tea for like literally 6 months. Magnolia is a dupe for Versace. Warm and White Flowers, which is a dupe for Viktor and Rolf Flower Bomb. I also love Ambre Saffron, Ambre Vanilla, which are dupes for YSL Black Opium and Baccarat Rouge. I swear everywhere I go, they're asking me where I got my fragrances from, what it's called, etc. And I just think you can never go wrong with fragrances that are amazing quality and long lasting. So if you guys want to give Dossier a shout out, all you have to do is go to my bio, click the link, and use code Dakota10 at checkout for 10% off. You save money, it shows the brand that you support me, which then in turn they will support the channel. Thank you so much, Dossier, for sponsoring today's video, and thank you for you guys who have already bought perfume for them for like the past 2 years. Like I really do appreciate it so much. And let's get back into today's video, because that's the thing, is like if you were to go back and erase everything that has ever happened to you, you would erase who you are. Those things are all a part of your story for one way or another. Like God really does serve a purpose. Now that we have the awareness and we have the wisdom from those lessons, it's our responsibility to, number one, not repeat those, but number two, now that we know better, to do better. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today's video is going to be a get ready with me. Went ahead and did this look with y'all. We got into so much tea. I cried as per usual.
Video surprise.
We talked about my dating life. We talked about my job hunt and my new career goals, direction of where my channel is going. We talked about forgiveness. We talked about my baby father. We talked about anger. We talked about just like literally therapy, like so many things in one. It was like a virtual FaceTime call while we were sipping our drinks and getting ready, and it was just a vibe. I love videos like this. So if you guys want me to do more, and if you make it to the end and you like it, let me know down below, and I can make this like a weekly thing or a monthly thing. I'm not going to put too much pressure because
we know how I feel about commitment.
Anyway, you guys, I really hope you enjoy this video. Go ahead and grab your wine, grab your snacks, grab a notepad, grab whatever it is you need. Sit back, relax, and let's get into this get ready with me.
Hello, stranger. It's been a minute since we last kicked. And by the way, just got in town, and I won't let you in this club.
Oh my god, it's 111 right now. And I just like...
Y'all look a mess, like.
Oh my god, we're only 2 minutes into the video. I've been having such a rough month because I just feel like I am not stable, like, in anything besides, like, my mental health, which is great. But I feel like sometimes, like, I just don't have, like, a purpose. Like, I just feel like I'm, like, flailing. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And I know that 1 is, like, the number for divine guidance, and it shows that you're kind of like where you need to be. Sometimes I just need a reminder that everything's gonna be okay. I don't cry enough. This is actually something I've been talking about so much in therapy, how I don't let anybody see me cry. Like my friends have never seen me cry. Like my own mom has like barely ever seen me cry. I had like a session with my therapist a week ago, and it was life-changing because it brought me so much clarity into why I do the things that I do, and why I self-sabotage, and why I don't put myself first. And I really want to talk about that in this video. I can't believe I just got that emotional this quick. Ew, what the hell. Anyway, I normally start with this foundation, the L'Oreal Infallible, but I don't have any more of it, and I was too lazy to go stop and get some today. So instead, I'm going to just do a little concealer moment because I've been doing this lately, and it's actually been looking pretty good. I guess we'll get into like career stuff. I have just been realizing, y'all, that I sleep on myself so much, and I've said this from like the beginning of time. You guys have heard me say it. I just sleep on myself like so badly. When I was doing story times, it was easy to do YouTube because I knew what I was doing. I'm the type where it's like I need direction, I need structure, and I need guidance, and if I don't have that, I will just like flail in the wind. Like I need structure. Like I'm a Virgo rising. If I don't have structure, I just feel off. But I also need enough leniency to where it doesn't feel like I'm stuck and confined. But when I was doing story times, it was easy because like that's my story. I didn't even have to come on here and script it. All I had to do was go sit, hit record, talk about whatever story it was that I wanted to talk about, and then edit and be on my way. And it was easy. There was like minimal planning going into it, and that's when I was thriving so much on here. And now that I've realized I don't really want to do story times anymore and I want to do other content, it's been hard because it's like I'll even sit down and I'll plan out what content I want to do. Like I'll be like, oh, I want to do like feminine hygiene routines. I want to do a little bit of vlogs, maybe like one vlog a month. I want to do Reddit stories. I want to do motivational stuff. I want to put my podcast on here, and it's like nothing sparks joy the way story times did. But story times don't spark joy for me anymore, so I'm glad that I kind of put those to the end. I mean, I'm still doing like subby story times. Like if y'all want to send me your story times for me to read, I would love that. You can go ahead and send it to my email. It's in my bio, but I'll also put it here for your convenience as well. But the thing with that is like that makes me so happy, and like I truly love like reading y'all's stories. It's just I personally am not on the journey anymore of wanting to tell mine because I just don't want to, and that's okay. Like that's fine. I know in my heart when something is working for me versus when it's not anymore, and that just wasn't working for me anymore, and there's nothing wrong with that. But now it's like I don't know what sparks joy for me anymore. Like if I'm being honest, the one thing I love to do is cleaning and organizing. If I could be a professional cleaner and organizer, I do it for fun. I do it all the time. Like that's what I'm doing when I'm not on here, is I'm always just cleaning and organizing either my house or my friends' houses, and like that I love it like literally so much. But I also love like motivational content, but for some reason it's like when I go to plan that out, it just doesn't hit the same like in my I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's hard. It's been so hard for me to like continue on this channel because I don't know what direction I'm going in. And so many of you are like, we literally don't care, like you can come on here and talk about like, girl, what, this is like the best concealer in the whole world. It's the Born This Way concealer. Another really good one is concealer. It's like a serum. It's literally so good. Like some people are like, you could literally come on here and talk about paint drying, and I would watch it. And the thing with me is that I think that I just give myself a lot of excuses. Always am like on this if not now then when mindset. And what I mean by that is I will say to myself, everything's going great. I'm making good money from this. My subscribers are loving it. You know, it's so joyful. But what happens when this ends? What happens when it's not working for me anymore? What happens when my views get low? What happens when I run out of ideas? You get what I'm saying? So it's like if I'm already perceiving it that way, of course I'm not going to succeed because, hello, girl, like you're already planning to fail basically. Like obviously it's not going to work out for you, but I've been like that with everything my whole life, and I'm just really learning to just like enjoy experiences as they come, as they are, and not putting a time frame on them, not putting an expiration date on them, because everything can change in literally an instant. And I need to stop doing that. I think that's one of my biggest lessons with this career is like, stop always waiting for the other shoe to drop. Your subscribers love you because of who you are, and they love you because of your authenticity, and they love the content you create. So stop being so insecure. Post what you want to post. Like my dream job is to just like be a stay-at-home mom. Like it really is. I just love kids. I love putting my all into my home, into my children, into my family. But like that's just not my life right now, plain and simple. And that's okay, because maybe one day it will be. Who knows? Like if I have more kids and my husband is, you know, willing and able to allow me to have my passive income but also be a stay-at-home mom, like that's literally incredible, and I would love that. And that could be my life one day, but it's just not right now. It doesn't mean that it never will be. It just means that it isn't right now in this moment. I need to like realize that, like, no, like you need to make money, you need to work, you need to do something. And I think I got so comfortable with the leniency of YouTube, where it's like I can just work whenever I want to. And this goes back to the whole schedule thing. Like, I need a schedule. If I don't have a time and place where I'm supposed to be somewhere, it doesn't happen, because that's just how my brain works. I'm very neurodivergent. Brain works on structure, things just being organized. Like my therapy appointment, I show up every single week for that at 9:30 because I know I have to be there. I tried to like set myself hours for YouTube and be like, okay, every day from 9 to 3 we're gonna do this. And I don't know, girl, it just doesn't work for me. Like, it just doesn't work. But I'm like, okay, but I need structure. Like, I need to have set filming days and set editing days. And I don't know. I think it's just me. I don't know. Like, sometimes I'm sitting here and I'm like, no, you need to just go get a regular job and then do that 3 days a week and then do YouTube 2 days a week. But like, at the same time, it's like, is that really what I want? No. It's so expensive to live in Connecticut. It's like literally ridiculous. And if I want to move out and do things I want to do, I mean, I do need to get something part-time. And then maybe that will help me. Like, maybe that will help me with YouTube. Like, maybe it will help me because I will have a set schedule. I don't know. I think some people are able to like have this as a job and wake up and be like, I know that I have to do this today. Like, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna start filming at 9, I'm gonna wrap it up at 3, and those are my work hours. I don't know what it is. I just can't. Like, me and my therapist have literally sat down and created a plan, and I just can't. And I think it's just, I don't know if it's me getting in my own way. I don't know if it's because like I'm a mom, because that's the thing too, is like a lot of other YouTubers, they don't have kids, and so they can literally like work whenever they want to. If they want to start filming at 3 o'clock and then work all night, they can. But it's like, I have a kid, so I can't do that. But then again, there's other people who have kids and do this, so I don't know. Like, I'm just literally thinking out loud right now, expressing to you guys I've been feeling. I want to find a part-time job because I think it's just good to have multiple streams of income anyway. It's so hard for me because I don't even know what I would apply for. I haven't had a traditional job in almost 3 years, be a present parent at the same time. But I know that there's always a plan. I know that God is always on time, and I know that I need to just be intentional. Like, I literally have a sticker right here on my mirror that says, be intentional, plan your days, say no to things. Because I've been realizing that too, is like I just have not been putting myself first, and I have been so quick to help other people before I help myself, and it really just burns me in the long run. Like, having a good heart is great, but having a good heart with no boundaries is just like a death wish. Like, it just really is. So to kind of wrap up what I was first talking about, like, I am going to find a part-time job. I just don't know what that looks like. I'm also going to wait till January because nobody really be hiring in December. I will find something. I think, you know, it'll be work from home. It'll be good. And we'll see where that goes. So kind of going into therapy, and how it's been like honestly helping me so much realize about like my self-worth and just choosing myself and whatever. I had gone into my session, not this Wednesday because it was Christmas, but last Wednesday, and I was kind of talking about my attachment style because I'm definitely an anxious, attached girly. And basically what that means is like, think of yourself when you are a kid. When you are a kid, think of yourself as like a computer. Everything that happens in your surroundings, within your home, and within your energy gets put into your little computer, and that is your programming, right? So if you grow up with parents who are always yelling and screaming or aren't getting along, or you grow up with severe like money issues or chaotic environment, that in turn gets put into your computer programming. And if you have like an emotionally unavailable parent or an emotionally immature parent, or a parent who's just absent because they're battling with, you know, just their own stuff or whatever, probably anxious attached. There's anxious, avoidant, and secure. I think there's also a mix between like anxious and avoidant as well. I'm definitely like anxious. So for me, I have a fear of abandonment because of what I went through growing up. And so because of that, like, I'm not like this now. I'm like actually slowly moving from anxious to secure. But like, if somebody wouldn't text me back in a certain amount of time, I'd be like, oh my God, like, did something happen? Do they not like me anymore? Or if I would not get reassured from my partner, I would be like, oh my God, do they want to be with me anymore? Are they going to leave me? Are they going to cheat on me? Like, things like that, right? And so I have this like anxious attachment style, but I feel like I'm slowly moving into a secure attached style because I have been honestly filling up my time with things that I personally like. I've been trying to do like self-fulfillment over getting fulfillment from other people. And so like podcasting, like I don't make money from that, but I love it. It's like my hobby. So I've been doing that. I've been reading. I'm actually reading this book right now. It's called Attached, and it talks about all the attachment styles, where it comes from, how to dissolve them, or how to just live with them, right? Because it doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. It just means that it explains why you are the way you are, not only in relationships but in friendships, with family. It's just so informative. Through me doing this inner work and discovering myself, which by the way is why I've been so absent. Like I've just been doing a lot of work on myself through therapy, and I've been like I cried to my therapist so much last Wednesday, and basically I went in there wanting to talk about just like attachment styles and how I'm just discovering all of these, you know, things about myself. And I ended up bringing up how it's really hard for me to not experience guilt when it comes to my daughter. Like there's times where I really do want to be more career oriented, and I want to like put her in like an after school program or hire a sitter or something like that, but then I feel guilty for not being with her. And then around Christmas time, I always feel like I'm never doing enough, and I'm not like spending enough, or is she gonna have enough gifts? And then I like stopped myself and said, but you know what? I need to be more like compassionate towards myself, because not for nothing, somebody else is supposed to be helping me with this, i.e. her father, and he's not, and it's just me, and I'm playing both roles, and I am trying my best. Sometimes that does get to me, and I just feel so guilty. And then I immediately went into like, whenever I think about her father, I just get so aggravated and angry, but I do feel so sorry for him. I do have so much compassion and empathy for him because of what he's gone through in his life. And she said, okay, do you see how you were going to allow yourself to experience anger, but instead of experiencing that, you jumped right into compassion and empathy for him instead of allowing yourself to feel that. And she said, correct me if I'm wrong, but because I know you, I feel like you may be using empathy and compassion as a defense mechanism to not feel anger towards people. Because I told her, I said, I'm so quick to have compassion and empathy for other people, but never for myself. It's very hard for me to villainize people, period. Like, as you guys can see, I've done stories about like my exes. Like, you guys are quick to be like, Dakota, stop being so nice. Stop giving them benefit of the doubt. Stop sticking up for them. Like, you have every right to talk about this and not feel bad. It's just very hard for me to like see the bad in people. Like, and I don't know, I've been that way since I was a little girl. Like, I like seeing the good in people, but at the same time, it's like some people, when they show you who you are, you just gotta believe it. And not everybody is a great person and has good intentions, but it's like just so hard for me to see that. And I would rather just express compassion and empathy. And I didn't realize that I was using that as a defense mechanism to defer myself from feeling anger. And the reason is that my therapist helped me unpack was because growing up, anger was a lot of what I experienced in my house. Like, there was just a lot of yelling, there was a lot of chaos. Because of that, I always said, like, I just never want to be that angry person when I grow up. I never want to be that angry parent. I never want to be that angry person. I equated anger as something that was just so ugly. And it's also like a societal thing. I mean, in society, a man, you know, can kick the door off of its hinges during a Call of Duty game, and that's normal because he's a boy. But if a woman is, you know, upset, especially if you're a woman of color, you get like microaggression, like, oh, like the typical angry black woman. And or just like, even if you're not like, even if just any race, it doesn't freaking matter, you just get like villainized, like, oh, look, she's so angry, she's so angry. And it's like, we get made to feel like anger is such an ugly thing. Anger doesn't have to equate to violence and aggression. Anger can be felt in a healthy way. And you don't have to feel like just because you're angry, you're going to get angry and violent and aggressive. Kind of dove a bit deeper into my anger and into why I was upset. My therapist helped me realize that I actually wasn't angry at my daughter's father. I was angry at myself for abandoning myself, abandoning my needs, putting up with mistreatment, and being somewhere in a space that no longer served me. And that has been a theme my whole life, because I know what it's like to feel abandoned. I often struggle with leaving situations that aren't good for me anymore, because I don't want anybody else to feel that same abandonment that I felt. But then in turn, I abandoned myself. And I have a theme in many of my relationships, friendships, family dynamics, where I will not put myself first, and I will often help others before I help myself. I will have $25 in my bank account, and if somebody in my life needs 25, I will withdraw that and be negative to help them, and then leave myself in the dust. You get what I'm saying? And I think that it's good to have a heart that I have, because it's so rare. Like, the way that I love, the way that I care is literally so rare. Like, people search their whole lifetime to find a love like that. And although it's good, I have to be cognizant to give that to the right people, because some people are just takers. They're such takers, and they never reciprocate and they never give back. And if you are a giver, you have to watch yourself around people, because they will take until they bleed you dry. I just realized that I have this theme of just not putting myself first, and not choosing me, and not choosing my happiness, and instead choosing somebody else's happiness, supporting somebody else, helping somebody else, and being like, oh, like, I'm such a good person because I helped. And it's like, okay, yeah, but how do you feel? You feel empty because now you're drained. Like, I have certain friends in my life that will be so quick to like ask me for money, not even ask me how my day is. Like, ask me for money, ask me, oh, can you help me? But not even be like, hey, how have you been? How's your mental? How are you doing? But so quick to ask me for financial help. I don't know, sometimes I feel like just used, but then it's like I have to look again internally, because that's the thing, is like, it has nothing to do with anybody else. Everybody else in our life is a mirror. Everybody is mirroring back to us what we have within us that we need to heal and we need to work on. And when you play life as if it's a game, it really does help, because it's like, okay, you actually were brought to my life to teach me this theme about choosing myself and self-love and self-worth. And I'm going to use that to my advantage and take our connection as not anything bad, but just as a lesson, right? Not good, not bad, just a lesson and experience. And the thing is, though, is that when you continuously realize that but don't act on it, that's when it becomes toxic. So like I said, like, if I have like a friend in my life who constantly does that, and I know that and I see that and I'm aware of that, but I don't do anything like set boundaries or put up any type of walls or say no, then I kind of have myself to blame after that, because it's like, well, what do you expect? You're not doing anything. Like, you're not doing anything about it. You're just allowing this person to continuously come in and bleed you dry, and you have to set up boundaries. And sometimes, like, I feel like we enable so much. Like, we enable the people that we love. For me, I'm always like, I'm so quick to help others because I know what it's like to not have help. Sometimes I will be so quick because I just don't want them to feel that. Same thing with the abandonment. I don't want anybody to ever feel abandoned. And so I will often stay in spaces. I'm not talking about like romantic relationships even, you guys. I'm just talking about in general, like old jobs, old friendships, old family dynamics. Like, I would just be quick to stay somewhere that no longer served me because I just didn't want that person to feel bad when I left, you know? But sometimes people need to feel our absence in order to learn their lessons and understand their assignments. And sometimes when we're in someone's life and we're continuously being that anchor, continuously being that buffer, continuously being that shoulder, how are they going to learn to stand on their own 2 feet? Or how are they going to learn independency? Or how are they going to learn their assignments when you're just always there to pick them up when they fall? It's just a really hard lesson that I have to learn. But yeah, like I said, I realized that like I actually wasn't angry at him. I wasn't even angry at my past relationships or like my friendships. I'm angry at myself, because it's like, when are you going to fucking learn? Like, when are you going to learn? How many people have to be brought into your life? How many mistakes do you have to go through? How many trials and freaking tribulations do you have to go through to realize you need to start choosing yourself, Dakota, and putting yourself first? You need clearer boundaries. You need to put yourself first, and you need to choose you, because if you don't choose you, nobody else is going to. Point blank, period, the end. Story's over, chapter's done, case closed. That's it. I'm in this stage of my life where I'm done trying to prove myself to people, because that's what I've always done my whole entire life. And again, it stems from, you know, childhood and like having an absent parent. You feel like if you do something that they will notice you and they will like see you, and that trickles over into your adult friendships and relationships too, where you feel like you just always have to prove yourself. Like, if I can't go somewhere I don't do this anymore because I'm dissolving this. Everything that I'm talking about, I'm dissolving, which is why I've been so absent from this channel, because I've been purging and crying and letting it out. And when I had this therapy session, I cried my eyes out, and I was like, I felt like I lost 50 pounds after I left that therapy session. I had so much pain in my back, you guys. It's not even funny. And I thought for sure it was like inflammation or what I was eating. It's trauma, because trauma gets stored within our body. And if you don't release that shit, then it's going to stay there. I have a podcast. It's called Sis Let's Heal. It's available anywhere that you listen to your podcast currently. And I'll put a link in my bio, but I just did an episode on this where it was like forgiveness starts with you, because that's what we basically got into, is like you're holding on to all of this pain, all of this hurt, all of this trauma, and it's in your body, and now you're releasing it and you're letting it go, but you need to forgive yourself. Because I told her, I said, I feel like if I don't let go, or if I don't, because I've been saying for years that like I'm healed from like my daughter's father. And what I mean by that is like not love wise, because I never felt that love for him on that level. I thought I did, but I was just immature. I was like 18 years old, going on 19. It wasn't love, it was just trauma. But talking about from him like abandoning us essentially, right? And it just has created this like masculine wound within me where I feel like I can't depend on anybody. I can only depend on myself, and I have to be hyper vigilant, hyper independent, and I can't ask for help. And it's very hard for me to let help in, and I really want to dissolve that so I can start accepting it. But yeah, I mean, I had said to her, I was like, the reason why I think for so long I've just been like pretending, like people would always ask me like, oh, like how do you feel towards him? Like how does it feel, you know, like what he did, like are you okay, are you healing? And I've always just said like I sleep good at night, and this is true, like I do, like I sleep good at night knowing that I do everything and anything that I can for my child, and she's happy and well taken care of. But I give him grace, I give him compassion and empathy, because I just don't know what it's like to not be in your kid's life. I don't know that feeling. I don't know that. I don't know. I don't know. Like to not even, to just not even call, not even text, not even know anything about them or what they're doing or what their voice sounds like. Like that would drive me nuts. And I don't know that because I don't experience that. So I actually feel sorry for him. And, you know, he's just lost and he doesn't know what he's doing, and that's that. But use that compassion and empathy to bypass my anger towards him, because fact of the matter is like I am angry at him. He has done horrible things. He continues to, and you know, he's literally going to create all this internal self-doubt within this little girl because you just want to be selfish and not do what you have to do and step up. I'm angry at him for that. It's not even more so about me. Well, no, it is, because it's hard. Like what I do is hard, and it's not easy at all. And I love it. I would never take it back. But there are times where I like struggle internally because I just feel like I am doing everything alone and by myself. And it's hard, you guys, like mentally, physically, financially. And he's just out living his life with no care in the world. And I can know that I'm doing the best job I possibly can. And I can know that I love being a mom and that I wouldn't take any of this back for anything. But I'm also allowed to still feel angry and still feel upset and feel hatred. And I'm not gonna lie, there are times where I admit this to my therapist too. I was like, I know hate is like such a bad thing, but like I hate him. I really do. And I hope to let go of that one day because that's not healthy, but like I do hate him. Like I really do. He's the only person in this world that I hate, because it's not fair what you're doing to her. And I know what that feels like. I've denied myself of those feelings for so long. And I told her, I said, I feel like if I feel that hatred and I feel that anger, I'm going to get stuck in it. And I'm just going to feel this way for the rest of my life. And I don't want that. And that's why, you know, I have a hard time with forgiveness. And she said, well, what is your experience with forgiveness? Like, what were you taught? What I was taught, basically, I don't want to do glitter today. I don't want to do glitter today. I think I'm just going to do a cut crease with a dark lid and some lashes. Okay. Sorry, y'all, I had to figure that out. I said, you know, thus far my experience, forgiveness has always is like forgiveness heals all. And that's something that we always hear very often is like forgiveness heals all. You have to forgive in order to move on. You have to forgive in order to let go. And that is not true. That is bullshit. That is not true. Because number one, You're on your own timeline. You can't force yourself to forgive somebody. In fact, forcing yourself to forgive somebody is toxic. It's toxic positivity, and it does nothing for your healing. All it does is allow you to lie to yourself for that much longer. And have you ever heard the people who say forgiveness heals all, or you have to forgive to move on, are some of the most miserable people on the whole entire planet. Like, those are the people that are so miserable. And a lot of us use religion to mask trauma. A lot of us use religion to be like, to just bypass things. Like religious bypassing, like, oh, give it to God. God heals all. God heals all. Give it to God. Or God doesn't want you to be mad. God doesn't want you to hate them. Or God doesn't want you to dislike them. God wants you to feel what you feel. And he wants you to heal. And he wants you to unpack those emotions, because the only way out is through. The only way out of your emotions and out of that mindset is through it. So if you're bypassing your emotions by just using religion or using empathy or using compassion, I'm here to tell you, you are going to wake up one day and look back and realize you've done nothing in your healing journey, because you've been using these outside sources and you've been giving it to them and not doing the work yourself. God wants you to do the work. God wants you to do the work, and that's just that. God can heal, but he needs you to start. Like, God can heal, but he cannot heal everything. I don't care what nobody says. That's just the truth. If you just sit there and you say, I want a new job. I want a new job so bad where I make more money and I'm making 6 figures. I'm going to give it to God. Do you think if you sit on your ass every single day that a 6-figure job is going to come? No, you got to up your resume. Maybe you have to go and contact somebody like a career consultant or a career coach that can help you with that. You have to do what you have to do on your end. And then, yes, if you pray to God and it's in alignment, he's going to grant that to you if he knows that you're in the season to receive that. But if you just sit on your ass, he's not going to grant you nothing. Like, I'm so sorry about it, but it's just the truth. And I'm so sick of people using things like that to bypass trauma, or to be like, oh, like, you're not depressed, just give your life to God. God can cure your depression. God could cure your bipolar. God can cure your OCD. Do you know how stupid you look saying that? Like, I'm so sorry. Like, no, he can't actually. You have to do the work yourself, and then he can help you. But you have to help yourself. You have to help yourself if you want God to help you. It's just the truth. And if you disagree with me, you can disagree. In my opinion, that's exactly what it is. You have to help yourself if you want God to help you. Like, point blank, period, the end. Forgiveness, I always was taught growing up, heals, and you have to forgive in order to let go. And I'm realizing, like, no, you don't. And even my therapist was like, I spent so many years being angry at my parents, and I was just always told that I had to forgive. And then when I actually set time aside to unpack everything that happened and feel my emotions and allow myself to feel them on their full spectrum, whether it was anger, sadness, frustration, happiness, that's when I was able to let go. And that's the thing, is letting go of that venom and that poison just releases you from that contract and that bind that you have to them. But it doesn't mean you have to forgive them. It means that you just have to release those feelings, right? And the only way to release them is to, well, it's to each their own. Like, for me, it's through talking. When I talk about things, that's when I release them, and that's when I let go, which is why when I talk about things, I start to cry. And sometimes that's why I don't want to talk about things, because I know I'm going to cry. But for some people, it's journaling. It's running, it's going to the gym, it's talking to a friend, it's teaching. Like, everybody has their own way, their own vessel, their own outlet. And mine just happens to be this. So I think once I'm able to sit down with those feelings of anger and release them, which I have been doing, it's going to definitely just make my life a whole lot better. As I learned more about the forgiveness thing and how you really just have to forgive yourself, I swear everything just changed for me. I was like, I don't even have to sit here and gone through the shit that he's done or gone through the past relationships I've been in and what they have done. Instead, I just have to forgive myself and internally do some introspective work and realize that it's not about them, it's about me. It was about my lack of boundaries, my lack of self-worth, my lack of self-esteem that didn't attract these broken people into my life, but let in these broken people to my life. And it was like, okay, you have broken parts and I have broken parts. Let me help you fix yours while I negate mine. You know what I mean? That is, I don't want to say my own fault because I didn't know any better. Like, that's the thing too. Like at 18, 19, 20, I didn't know any better. I was equating love with what I had seen growing up. And like I said, when you have that like computer programming within your mind of what love is supposed to be and what you have seen thus far, that is all you know. That is your programming. That is your computer. But until you take the time to dissolve that and learn what it's like to be in a healthy relationship, or what it's like to have healthy love, or what it's like to just be healthy in general, you're going to just go off of the experience that you've had thus far. Like I always say in all of my podcast episodes and just everything, that emotions are the end product of an experience. Every emotion that you have towards something is the end product of an experience that you've lived throughout your life. So a lot of us who don't like confrontation, it's because confrontation was an ugly thing growing up. And it was a thing growing up where it was loud, it was violent, it was chaotic. And so in turn, we think that if we have confrontation within our personal lives as adults, that we're going to experience yet again the same thing that we did in our households growing up, even though that's not exactly true, because confrontation is actually healthy. It's confronting the issue. It's asserting yourself. It's saying, I don't like that, so how can we navigate forward so that doesn't happen again? The fact that I just did that while talking, Desi Perkins wear. Loving yourself enough to say, I love myself enough to confront this issue so I can set some boundaries to protect myself. And then once you learn how to do that, which you only learn by doing, you then install a new emotion to a new end product of a new experience, which is I had confrontation with this person. It went healthy. There was no yelling. There was no screaming. There was no violence. And now I look at confrontation as healthy. Boom. Now I can have healthy relationships. That happens when you get older and start creating those new experiences. But if all you've known thus far are toxic ones, then of course it's going to be hard for you to allow in healthy people. A lot of women will say healthy men are boring to me because all they know is toxic men. They know the uncertainty. They know the rejection. They know the attraction that they have to rejection. And they know the instability. They know the toxic struggle love. So when you are with a man who's healthy, who's reassuring, who loves you, who doesn't yell at you, who doesn't make you feel bad about yourself for just existing and being who you are, it might be a little bit weird because you're receiving this and you're like, what the heck, I'm not used to this, right? But you have to get used to it if you want healthy love into your life. That comes with forgiving yourself. You have to forgive yourself for putting up with the mistreatment. You have to forgive yourself for not knowing anybody. You have to forgive yourself for allowing in people into your life that beat you down, that made you have self-esteem issues, self-love issues. Just forgive yourself for everything thus far, because nothing that has happened to you has been your fault. But now, with the awareness that we have from these experiences, because that's the thing, is like if you were to go back and erase everything that has ever happened to you, you would erase who you are. Those things are all part of your story for one way or another. Like, God really does serve a purpose. Now that we have the awareness and we have the wisdom from those lessons, it's our responsibility to, number one, not repeat those, but number two, now that we know better, to do better. The theme that I'm just really in right now is just choosing myself, whatever that looks like. Saying no without feeling guilty about it, because I can say no, but then I will carry this like immense guilt about it, you guys. Like, I don't know what it is. I will just feel so bad for, what the heck? So bad for saying no, or so bad for like putting up a boundary. And it's like, I will do that boundary and I will say no, but I'll feel bad about it. And that's just not how I want to feel going into the new year. Like, I am allowed to say no. I am allowed to change my mind. I am allowed to at any time make a decision for me that is for my greatest good. And if you love me, and if you honor me, and if you cherish me as just a human being, then you're going to be receptive of that. I feel like I love when my friends set boundaries. Like, if I call my friend and ask her if she wants to do something and she's like, I can't because I'm working, or I can't because I want to just stay in tonight, I love that for her because I'm like, oh my God, yes, queen, like set those boundaries. I just get so happy for people when they choose themselves. You know, I want people to do the same for me. Like I want people to see me choosing myself and have it inspire them even to choose themselves. Like my therapist always says, she's like, if anybody ever in your life gets mad at you for asserting boundaries or having boundaries, that's not a person that you need in your life. That's not a friend, that's not a good boyfriend, that's not a good parent. Like you need to assert boundaries because that's how you don't get hurt, is when you have those boundaries, right? And also a lot of people who get upset with you for having boundaries are the ones who benefit from you not having them, because it helps them out. Of course, if they have someone in their life who they can walk all over and know that anytime they can call you and you're going to drop what you're doing for them, of course they're going to be upset when you start saying no. Hello, because it's been working for them thus far. You see what I mean? So my theme really going into this year is choosing myself, no longer abandoning myself, going from anxious to secure, whatever that looks like, and just being happy from my own self-fulfillment. Just excited to see what it feels like when I finally choose me for the first time. And I'm just developing so much more of a love and appreciation for myself because I'm fucking amazing. I'm a great person. I'm a great friend. I'm a great partner. I'm a great caregiver. I'm a great mom. I'm a great daughter. Like, I am great and you are great. And it's time that we start seeing that. One thing that I want to quickly leave off with before we end this video and wrap this up today is my dating life. I have spent the past 2, almost 3 years on the internet telling you guys every little single solitary detail about my past relationships, even so much as last year of when I went on the date for the first time after my breakup and all the details that that entailed. And looking back on that video, I regret that so much. I should not have come on here and talked about that when it was so fresh and it was so new. I feel like in my life sometimes when I'm happy about something, I just want to run to like my best friends, which is you guys, and tell you guys and have a little like virtual FaceTime call and tell you guys all these details. And I still do, but when it comes to my dating life, I decided that's the one thing on my channel I'm going to keep extremely private until I feel like secure enough or locked down or even fucking damn near engaged, because I like the idea of being private but not hidden. You know what I mean? Like I love showing off my partner. I love being in love and just like going to Instagram and just like shouting it from the rooftops. But also at the same time, I'm learning the more people know about things in your life that make you happy, the easier they have a chance to destroy it. And although I believe what is for you and it will never pass you, and if it does, it will come back, I also believe in evil eye and people being weird ass bitches passing negativity onto you, and that's just not what I want. And I found that when I keep that part of my life private and to me for as long as possible before I start soft launching and revealing hints and things like that, I just am happier because I share so much of my life on the internet with you guys because I love to, and I feel like some things as I'm getting older, I'm realizing I just need to keep private until I feel ready to reveal. It's just nobody's business. Like, it's really nobody's business. As long as I'm happy, as long as I'm glowing, and as long as I'm fine, that's all that matters. And of course, one day when I feel open enough to it, I will share and I will talk about it, you know, when that time does come and I do meet somebody and fall in love and go down that path. Of course, I want to like talk about it. I mean, I hope one day that I can teach other women how it feels to go from like that masculine, shielded, wounded energy to your femininity and flourishing in it and teach it in a healthy way. I hope to be that beacon and that teacher and that vessel, but for now I'm just chilling and I'm keeping my that part to myself. And yeah, I get a lot of questions whenever I post a Q&A. Everyone's like, who are you dating? Who are you talking to? What are you doing? Are you with this person? Da, 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 da. And I'm just like, I'm not answering those questions anymore. I'm keeping it to myself until I feel ready. And I think it's good to have boundaries, and I think it's good as friends that we keep certain things to ourselves. So I hope you guys understand. I did just want to clarify that real quickly, and just thank you guys so much for all the support, all the love, just being you. You guys are absolutely amazing. I love you guys so much. I hope you had a great Christmas. I hope you're preparing to have a good New Year's. What are your New Year's resolutions? Like I said, mine is to really just like stop overextending myself, to set boundaries, choose myself, and stop abandoning myself. And I don't really know what that looks like, so I'm excited to kind of take you guys with me on that journey of what that looks like and embody that fully. Just really excited for the journey. I feel so much better now that I sat down and talked about all of this. I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulder. I definitely want to do more videos like this because, like I said, they're just so natural. I don't have to script them. I don't have to like overthink them. I just sit down, I beat my face, I talk to my best friends, and it just gives me the vibes that I had when I would come on here and tell story times, you know? What an era. What an era. But anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy this video and you made it to the end, don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to also subscribe because it's free, and turn on your post notifications so you're notified every single time your girl posts on YouTube, period. And we haven't done a post notification shout out in quite some time, so let's go ahead and do one of those while we're at it. Post notification shout out goes to Kelly Collins. She said, girl, this is your calling. Just do viewer submissions. Hope you feel better. Happy holidays. Happy to see you on my feed. Thank you so much, Kelly. I appreciate that. I do really feel like doing subscriber story times is like something I'm really good at. And it's definitely something I'm going to bring into the new year for sure, because it's just fun. It's fun to just like sit down and read other people's stories and be like, what? Like, my life is not the only life. That's crazy. What the heck? So thank you so much for your sweet comment. If you want to be on the next video as a post notification shout out, literally all you have to do is just comment something down below. Comment down whatever you want, and if I like it, and if your post notifications are turned on by clicking the bell, I will go ahead and shout you out in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe to my podcast, Sis Let's Heal. Also, don't forget to check out my newest episode on the I Missed Me podcast. I did an episode with the host, and we did just a great job. It was so much fun. We just talked about loving yourself and relationships and attracting, and it was just great. So just definitely go ahead and check that out. As usual, all my socials will be here, but also linked in the description box for your convenience. I'm always super active on Instagram, so if you guys are missing me here, go ahead and check me out over there. I post on my stories daily. It for this video. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Stay safe, wear condoms. Don't let anybody's dusty, rusty, crusty sun get you in your feelings. Until next time, bye.
Baby, I wonder, would you just put your sweats on for me? Yeah. I got the plug.